Hello, everyone. In this session, we will learn about the dashboard and the landing page. The dashboard is the initial screen a user encounters upon logging into the system. For instance, consider logging in via a specific link. The screen displayed following a successful login is known as the dashboard. Here is an example of a dashboard. This dashboard is customizable to suit specific requirements, accessible through an Add icon. Clicking this icon reveals a panel on the right side, presenting all accessible widgets such as charts, key performance indicators, and links. Any of these elements are addable to the dashboard using a drag and drop method. As an example, dragging a key performance indicator and dropping it into place demonstrates the ease of adding widgets or key performance indicators to the dashboard through this drag and drop functionality. Adding another item, such as a chart, results in it also being added to the dashboard. Further additions are also added to the dashboard. Incorporating a workflow proceeds similarly. Through this process, additional widgets can be added to the dashboard as needed. Removal of any widget, chart, or key performance indicator is achieved by clicking the Remove icon, which will then remove it from the dashboard. As an example, elements were just removed by clicking the Remove icon. Next, we will understand the landing page. A landing page is the initial page displayed when a specific window is opened. For example, if I open the AP invoice window, the first screen that appears is called its landing page. The landing page is specific to that window only. Only this window, for the AP invoice window. If you open any other window, then the landing page for that window is different. For example, if I open AR invoice or AR receipt, you can see the landing page of AR receipt is different from the landing page of AP invoice. Therefore, the landing page displays all the widgets, charts, key performance indicators, and graphs designed for that specific window based on its records and data. As visible on the right side, all the charts, links, and any module-specific widgets are present. That covers the dashboard and landing page. Now, we will learn the process of creating these widgets and charts for any window, enabling their display on the landing page of that window. Let's begin with the dynamic widget. To find it, you can search for Widget Library in the menu. For the purpose of this example, we will use an existing version, specifically the product widget. Activate it by toggling the appropriate setting. Then, enter the name and display name, choosing values that you like. After that, select the module from which this widget should be transferred. Another type of link widget is the dynamic widget. You have the option to add custom HTML styles in the HTML style field if you feel it is needed. Also, if you want the widget value to appear in a random color, simply tick the Show field in Random Color checkbox. Now, in the Show Widget On section, tick the Homepage checkbox to display this widget on the homepage. If you want this widget to appear on a specific window, tick the Window checkbox and then select the desired window from the Screen field. To set the size of this widget, navigate to the Size tab. Here, you can set the sequence, height, and width of the widget. Following this, proceed to the Field tab. Here, you can enter the name and choose a control type: badge, button, label, or link. If you select button or link as the control type, you need to provide parameters in the OnClick field. For example, you could set the action type to W and the action name to Product Master. This means that when a user clicks on this button, the Product Master window will open. Alternatively, if you select label as the control type, the field will appear simply as a label. Additionally, for the control type link, tick the Apply Data Source checkbox. This will enable 3 additional fields: Tab, Top, and Field Top. Top defines the range of records that are visible. You can increase this range by increments of 10. This represents the header tab of the window you selected earlier in the Widget tab. From here, you can select your desired fields. If you tick the Badge checkbox, it will enable 2 more fields: Badge Value and Badge Time. In the Badge Value field, you have the option to run a structured query language query for calculation, or you can write any simple text. The text will be displayed exactly as you enter it. In the Style field, you can apply styling to the widget. To view this widget, you need to first change your role. Then, click on the Edit Home icon. Under the Vienna Advantage Standard section, you should be able to locate your product widget. Drag this widget and drop it in the desired location. The widget will then be visible. You should see an example of a badge control type and a button control type. When you click on the button, it will open the Product Master window. This allows you to verify that the Product Master window is indeed opening as expected. Here we have an example of a link control type and a label. These four represent the data source types. Now let's examine the view. This is how the view appears. Click on the three dots, and you will notice three options at the label: refresh, editing, and printing. Clicking on the edit icon will zoom in on the dashboard view window. To create a view, begin by entering the name of the view in the name field. If you already have a view table, tick the View checkbox and bind your table there. If you do not have an existing view table, untick the checkbox. Then, bind the tab of the particular window in the corresponding field and the table in the Tab Table View field. Next, if a query has already been created, you can select it from the User Query field. If a query does not exist, you can bind your own structured query language query in the SQL Where field. Again, in the Show Widget On section, tick the Homepage checkbox to display the widget on the homepage. Alternatively, you can bind the widget to a specific window in the same section. Now, let's proceed to the View Column tab. Select the columns you want to display in your View widget, and also apply various operations to them, such as count, mean, maximum, and minimum. Additionally, you can use the Group By checkbox to apply grouping to the columns. To set the size of this widget, navigate to the Size tab. Here, you can configure the sequence, row, and column span. After configuring the size, proceed to the View Panel tab. On the View Panel tab, you can set the header background color, the font color, or simply the background color and font color. The header background color and header font color settings refer to the header of the widget, for instance, Production Order for Business Partner in the example. The background color refers to the purple background in the example, while the simple background color and font color refer to the settings for the rest of the widget. Next, we'll look at charts. You'll see different chart types available, such as bar charts, area charts, and column charts. To understand how to create a chart, click on the three dots, then zoom into the dashboard chart window. Toggle to open it. In the chart creation window, first enter the name you want to give the chart. Next, select the type of chart you want from the chart type selection box. You can choose from options like column, line, pie, bar, donut, and area charts. To display the chart legends, tick the Show Legends checkbox. Then, set the legend position using the Legend Position selection box. Finally, you can also set the background color of the chart and the label color. If you don't want the chart to display 0 values, untick the Include 0 series checkbox. To hide the background grid lines, tick the Hide Grid Lines checkbox. When working with millions or billions of values, use the Show Values in Selection box to format the display. For example, to display values in billions, select that option and save the changes. Refresh the chart to see the values displayed in billions. Now, go to the Series tab and toggle to open it. Enter the name for the series and select the color from the Series Color selection box. Bind either a view or tab of the window to the series. To show labels, tick the Show Label checkbox and set the label direction as diagonal, horizontal, or vertical using the Label Direction selection box. If needed, check the Is Logarithmic checkbox for logarithmic data scaling. To configure the x-axis, click on the x-axis mapping section. If you want to display a label on the x-axis, tick the Show x-axis checkbox and enter the label name. Then, select the data type, which can be string, date, list, or identifier. The column that will be displayed will correspond to the selected data type. For example, if the data type is date and the column is date count, you can select the date or time type according to your needs. The options include last days, last month's, last year, daily, monthly, none, and yearly. In this instance, last year is selected, and the calculation basis is set to financial with a value of 0. This means the chart will display records according to the current financial year. If you select fixed as the calculation basis, the chart will display data for the current year, specifically from January 2025 to December 2025. Alternatively, if you select variable as the calculation basis, the chart will show data for a year starting from today, such as February 10th, 2025 to February 10th, 2026. For the y-axis configuration, select the y-axis mapping section. To add a label to the y-axis, tick the Show Y-axis checkbox and enter the desired label name. Next, choose the column to display on the y-axis and select the calculation method. The available options include sum, average, count, or none. In the Other Conditions section, you can add structured query language where conditions, for example, entering is_received equals n, will display records where the is_received checkbox is false. You can also adjust other settings, such as the order by row, column X, and column Y. To limit the number of rows displayed, set the row limit. By default, the arrangement is in ascending order, but you can change this to descending order by ticking the Order by Descending checkbox. This will arrange the data in descending order. To set the size of the widget, go to the Size tab. The process is the same as setting the size for other widgets. Next, let's understand Key Performance Indicator widgets. A Key Performance Indicator widget is a single-column representation. The script will explain how a Key Performance Indicator widget appears. To create a Key Performance Indicator widget, first zoom into the Dashboard Key Performance Indicator window, then toggle it. After this, enter the search key and the name of the Key Performance Indicator. Now, select the type of your Key Performance Indicator from the Key Performance Indicator Type field. For example, donut, linear, radial, or text. Then bind either a view or tab of the window. Select the column from the Column field. Then choose a calculation method from the Calculate section, such as minimum, maximum, count, or sum. You can either bind custom conditions from user query and its comparison condition from user query for comparison, or you can manually bind your structured query language where condition and where clause for comparison under the Custom Where Clause section. In the Settings section, you can set your minimum and maximum value for the Key Performance Indicator. Finally, set the chart background color and label color. Set the sequence in the Sequence field. Next, select the value representation from the Show Values In field. For example, you can show your values in thousand, lakhs, million, crores, billions, and trillions. Choose the one that aligns with what you need. Set the weight for your widget. If your comparison value is greater than the value, then you can indicate that as a loss. To do this, tick the checkbox labeled Show Loss if value is greater than comparison value. If you want to display your currency symbol, tick the checkbox labeled Show Currency Symbol. To set the range, go to the Key Performance Indicator Range tab. Here, you can define a range according to the minimum and maximum value you provided in the previous tab and set the color according to your range. Now, we will move on to understanding advanced widgets. For advanced widgets, search any window like Payment Term. Click on the filter icon to enable the filter panel. Now click on Custom Condition. Select the column such as Created On, then tick the checkbox Is Dynamic. Select Is Today. Click on the Add button. This means that it will only display the cards that were created today. Now, click on the Save icon and enter a name like Today's Payment Term, and click on Save. Now, to add a new filter, click on the Clear All icon first to reset the previous filter. Then repeat the same process. After adding the filter, click on the magnifying glass icon. A pop-up will open to show your filter on a landing page. Then, tick the checkbox Show on Landing Page. Set the target view for how the filter will display the record. For example, set it as a grid or card view. Then, click the OK button. If you want to transfer your filter to another module, search your filter window. Filter window. Here you can search your filter for the payment term. This one. Go to the Line tab and click on this export icon. Then select the module through which you want to transfer this filter. Select any of the modules, then click OK. That covers widgets. That concludes this session. Thank you for attending.